John, that drill that you guys did at the end of practice, I could watch that for hours. Does it have a name yet, and what do you like about it?
Oh, I don't know what the name is. It's Lars and Shazi come up with it, but it's small ice. It's small ice. It's quick puck movements, anticipating plays, changing, defending, and they're having fun.
Yeah, there's transition in there too, eh?
Yeah, there's a quick transition with a change, and then that team coming off the ice trying to defend off a change, all on a small ice surface. So it forces them to move the puck. And, they have fun with it. It's a competition, and they have fun with it.
I wanted to ask you about Gabriel Carlson, who's had kind of an interesting start and stop journey here. It seems like forever ago that he opened a lot of eyes in the playoffs, and then he kind of disappeared, went through waivers a couple of weeks ago, and now he seems to be an important player for you here the last week or 10 days, 2 weeks maybe. Can you just speak to his play and how he's helped stabilize things on the back a little bit?
Yeah, I think he's played well with Savvy. I think he's helped Savvy's game. And Carly himself, I think, has shown a tremendous amount of puck poise, a tremendous amount of improvement in that area. You can certainly see that he's understanding more and more about the positioning of that position. And as you said, he was off the map for a while when he was banged up. He had the back and didn't play much. And after playing really good, when we threw him right into that Pittsburgh series, so it just reminds you, especially at that position, you never can give up on people there, and you're always looking for defensemen as you go through a hockey season. And everything about his game, I think he's just he's very poised in all the situation that he's put in right now.
Have you been surprised or pleasantly surprised at how engaged he's been on both ends of the rink? He seems to be in deep sometimes as well.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that through all of this has played with a ton of confidence. I just think he doesn't overthink things. He makes a decision. He goes with it. There's still a number of different things. I know Shazi's working with him that he's trying to teach him as far as positioning and stick positioning and all that. Some of the smaller details of playing that position. But I think he's clear between his ears. I just think he plays, and I think he trusts himself. It certainly shows in his play.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Jeff Svoboda. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Todd. Torts, you mentioned last night as you're watching a game, you're looking to see how certain players play in certain situations and certain roles that they're in. Did you see some growth in some guys last night? Because it just seemed like it was a more confident group, but did you see guys in certain situations show you some things that you maybe had not been seeing in previous games?
Yeah, and I'm not going to go down the list of players. I just thought our team was just more poised with the puck, where they weren't afraid to make a play. Scored you get a lead too. You score a couple of quick ones to go up 3-1. So we were freer. I think there was a lot more ice. I think some of the other teams we've played, they've checked more in certain parts of the ice where we've had struggles to get through. Let's be fair about it. Detroit was banged up. They had a few people out. I don't want to take anything away from us, and I don't want to disrespect Detroit. It was a game that everybody contributed. Everybody got on the ice, and I thought there was just some flow to it anyway, offensively.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Dave Metzel. Go ahead, Metzy.
Thanks, Todd. John, how important was getting yesterday behind you? Just a lot of words, and then to top it all off with a win you mentioned the word freer, to just get this team freed up a little bit?
What do you mean words? I'm not sure.
There were a lot of words yesterday. A lot of Jarmo spoke, you spoke at length about, whatever issues might have been kind of holding this team down. Now to get all that behind you, to get everything in the past and top it off with a win.
Yeah, but we weren't, like I said, I appreciate Jarmo feeling he has to do that. We were thinking about getting ready to play a game. I was thinking about getting ready to play. The coaching staff players. That's all we were concerned about. We have to answer the questions. We get fined if we don't come and visit you guys and answer your questions. So we have to come and talk to you. But we weren't concerned about anything else about just trying to be better as a hockey club. And as I said in the prior question, we had some flow. I think, as I didn't mention with Jeff, I thought we did a much better job in getting out of our end zone. I thought our first battle was much better in us getting control of the puck and getting out of there quicker and cleaner. I think that helped us offensively.
Z tried a move last night that was, I don't know, we haven't seen it all season long. We haven't ever seen it out of Z. Just the confidence that comes from a move like that. I'm just going to try this. Is that kind of part of the swagger that you're looking for? Not just from Z, but from everybody?
Yeah, I thought Z and Jonesy as a tandem, I thought played very well off of one another. It's a big step for them, and it's a big step for our team if they can get going, because they work off of one another so well, and that really helps us with our game, the tempo of our game, and everything about it. So it was one of the better games. Not just Z playing really good, not just Jonesy playing really good, but both of them together working off one another. So that's very important for our team.
Thanks.
You bet.
Next, we'll go back to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Porty.
On sort of the flip side of my Carlson questions, every year is a new year. What has Gavrikov struggled with this year that came easily to him in previous years?
Yeah, it is. Like I always say to the player, when I see a guy play at a standard or a level, I think he should be there all the time, and then ask himself for more. Just in a general term, because I'm not going to pick apart his game. I don't think it's the proper time to do that. I just think he's kind of hovered a little bit below what we expect of him. And he's still a guy that can improve. I think he wants to improve. I think he's built that way. So as all of them, especially our top four, it's just been inconsistent, and not through lack of try, but it's just been inconsistent. I think his puck touches have been inconsistent. I thought he did some really good things last night, and I'm just used to seeing him. Just being that guy that's always in someone's face and is just has them tied up defensively. That's the Gabby that I thought we saw more of last night, that we need to see more of as we keep on pushing forward.
You've coached for a long time. Do you get reminded every year that every year is a new year, and that what you think you know about a player isn't always what it's going to be the following year?
I've learned some through huge mistakes on my part in not thinking the player can get there. That I don't think you can ever do. You can't think that. There may be some tough times going on with a player, and you just may kind of put your hands up and say maybe that's all he has, but they surprise you. And I think you have to keep an open mind. I think coaches are critical first. They're always critical, and I live in that world of being critical first, without thinking about we've got. There could be some improvement at the defense position, especially. You got to be really careful, because you just never know in what is the toughest position to play in our game when guys mature in that position, and because it's different for all athletes. So. Every year it's a learning experience for me as far as seeing people grow, and the other way, seeing people just can't stay with it. So I'm not sure if you're talking about Gavi with this question, but Gavi he's a really good player. And that's what I just want to see, that really good player all the time. Yeah. That's what he set for himself.
One more on Carlson. He seemed like a quiet guy that in his early years was quite content to sort of be off, below the radar of attention. Does he seem more assertive off the ice as well? Is he is he grown up in that respect as well?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not going to tell you the conversation that he came to me with, when he's kind of watching and not playing, but he came to me and wanted to talk to me about that. And that's a huge step for me, for him, is to come to the coaching staff. And I'm not going to tell you what he said, but a few years ago, maybe he didn't feel confident enough to do that. But that's important for players to be able to, first of all, the coaching staff to allow them, and the players want to come there and put their views across. And there may be a disagreement, but that's a great conversation when that stuff happens between a player and a coach, to have the dialogue of where he thinks he is, where the coach thinks he is, and how do we settle this? So I think he's made steps in that tremendously.
Was he right?
Was he right?
In other words, this is where I'm at. I should be.
No, you don't. I didn't tell you what he said. So how can I answer that question?
Well, I assume he wanted to play. He wasn't playing. I assume that's what he wanted.
No, there's a lot of things players talk to me about. So I can't tell you if he was right or not, because you don't know what the conversation was. But he did come to me, and I think that's terrific.